Hi guys, welcome back. Today's question is merge overlap events in the same hall. And this is a hard question. We have a hall events table with hall ID, start date, and the end date. This table may contain duplicate row, and each row of this table indicates that a start date and end date of an event and the hall in which the event is held. Write a solution to merge all the overlap events that are held in the same hall to event overlap. If they have at least one day in common, return the result table in any order. The result format is in the following example. Let's take a look at the example. Example number 1 is hall 1, 2, and 3. Hall number 1 start date is the 13th and the 14th, and then the second event is the 14th to the 17th. I wonder if so these two probably overlap. And then the next one is 18th to the 25th of the same hall. Hall 2 is the 9th through the 23rd. And then the second event is 13 to 17. So these two are in between these. And then hall number 3, of course, doesn't have anything. So the output, okay, so yeah, so if it's the same date, then yes, it's overlap. And then number 2 is just the 9 to the 23 because the second event is within the first event. And then the third one is just the zone. Okay, acceptance rate is quite small, but let's get to work. So, I actually done one of these problem before when I was at work. So basically, I was working in a manufacturing line, and I have to calculate the overlapping between the child tool and the mother tool. So the mother tool, we have log for the mother tool, and then we have log for the child tool, and also blah blah blah. Anyway, if the child tool was up and the mother tool is down, then we consider as the down state basically. So anyway, so I have that experience, and in here, what I'm wanted to do is, I should stop saying "ah." It doesn't seem like I'm confident at all. Um, so anyway, I am going to calculate, to compare the start date of this event with the rest of the end date above. Start partition by the hall ID and then sort it by the start date and use that start date to compare with the rest of them. So with the rest of them, I call it a running max. So it's if it's less than the maximum of all of the record above, that means it's overlap. And so if it's overlap, then I'm just gonna grab the minimum date, which is this date, as a new start date. But to do that, I do need a CTE to get the previous end date with the lag, right? And then when I have a bunch of start date that share the same start date, I can just use that start date as a group by and use the maximum end date as the end date for that event. And so, Okay, let's get to work. I'm gonna need, see, I'm gonna need a CTE. We call it is a previous, so let's say lag and date. The reason we have to do a lag and date is because I'm doing the running lag and I don't want this to be compared to this date. I just want this date to be compared to the rest of to the lag. So let me just write it as select. So select all ID, start day, end date, and I want it to be the previous end date. So lag end date over ID and order by. There's no underscore, order by start date. So I'm going to call it previous end date from all events. Okay, so that I just want to show you guys what is that like. End date. So I'm not going to get any right answer, but at least it runs, right? So you see it just grabbed the previous end date, which is, this one doesn't have any. It's going to be a null. And this one got to be, this date, the previous end date is this, and previous end date is that. Anyway, yada, yada, yada. So now I can use this and I can use max of window function max to compare this two with previous row of these end date. So now I'm going to get rid of this. And if it's less than this, so for example, it will compare this with this null, which basically is we'll compare this with these two, right? And so these, obviously this will be obviously this is equal this, so it will take this day as a new end day. So let me write it with all new start date. Select all ID again because I want that, and then the start day, and then I don't want the end day anymore. I do want the end day. I want the end day. Okay, and so I'm gonna compare. So right case when I will compare the start day. If it's less or equal, because we determined that equal meaning is overlapping, equal then max previous end day over rotation by all ID order by the start day. So if it's less than equal, then I'll get the minimum start date of ID partition by ID. ID order by start day Um, Actually, I'll just grab the minimum date of that hall ID. Else, we're gonna grab that start day, and I'm gonna call that new start day from lagging day table, the CTE table that we made it earlier. Okay, so now if I run it, I should see from new start day. I apologize. I got a new lizard and now my cat is going crazy. Invalid table name from leg and date. Oh, I have an extra word over here. Okay. Alright. So we got a new wrong answer, but here we are with another middle step that I'm thinking is, right, so since this date doesn't have anything up front, it will just grab its own date, right? Oh God. The this date overlap with this one, so I grab the minimum of the date, and this date doesn't overlap, so it just takes its own. Same thing with hall number 2 is this date overlap with this one, and then this. Seems like it's so now if I group by this date and I take the large number, the maximum number of end day grouped by this day and the hall ID, then I'll get the answer, right? So let's just, obviously we have to get rid of these zeros, so make sure that you have a to-jar function over there. So we have, but I do see another faulty of it is, what if there's another day that overlap with just the second part, so just this part, right? So it measure it and then it grab the minimum, so it still grab this day. Let's just make a new case and let's do this. See if I was thinking right. So if I do this as 22, right? So that should overlap with that, and then this is 20. Okay, to leave it at 25. So if I run this one, with case number 2, right? And so I want to see. So C is still grabbing this thing. It's still grabbing the minimum because that's what that's what I told it to do. Alright, so I think we should have another step to modify this new start day a little bit more, is to get if this one, so to compare, line with the previous line, it if it doesn't, so I want this to be the 18, and so what I'm gonna do is if it's less than maximum of the running start date up until that point, then using that as in using the max at that point. All right, so let's see. Well, I run out of names, so newer start date. And I'll just call it CTE, right? Because I think this is the last step that I have to do. So I still have to select all of the ID, start day, end day, in case when the new start day is than less than the maximum new start day up until that point over partition by hall ID order. So up until that point, right? So the running max or running total will be subjected to this order by clause in any of the window function. So if this is less than max day, then again, I don't recommend copy and paste, but I'm just going to use that same one. Else we are getting that new start day and as a new start day. Right, from the new start day. It's kind of confusing up to this point, but let's close this parentheses and we're gonna select everything from the CTE and we're gonna check it one more time, see if so this is case number 1. I want to see case number 2. Voila, see, so now it's the 18 and this is the 13, and so now we're gonna get what does the output look like? Call ID, and we want to get the start day, and we're gonna get to char the new start day, not the old one. New start day. Give it a format. Date as a start date, and then we're gonna get them to char. We're gonna get the max end date. Give it a format. Right, as the end date from our CTE. Important thing is group by, since we have a max. So group by new start. We're going to group by the hall ID first, and then we'll group by the new start day. Okay, that would be it. If it doesn't have, I return the result in a table, and now I'm going to run it. Voila. Okay, so now we got the right answer. I'm going to submit it. Alright, so to reiterate, this not reiterate, I've never said it before. This question can be solved with recursive CTE, and I don't I'd like to challenge myself with using just what we have, which is window function, union or join, and things to get rid of things and to do things. It's like a math problem to me. But to reiterate, so the first step is I grab all of the previous end date, so then I can compare my start date with all of the previous end date and to see if it's overlap. If it doesn't, then that is my start date, and if it does, then the minimum start date would be my new start date. However, that new start date isn't good if there is multiple overlapping within a hall, there's like two, three overlapping. And so the third step is to grab the new start date, to use the anchor start date as a new start date. And then I use group by the whole ID and that new start date, and using the maximum end date of that new start date as an end date. So basically, we beat a third of the people, but however we beat them. So let's submit another time, see if it's faster. Well, so now I beat 100% of the people. Anyway, I hope you learned something new today, and I will see you next time. Bye.